Bonafide Hustler here. What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my office, right? I'm the Bonafide Hustler on a part-time basis. I am flipping things that I find from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, big box stores, and thrift stores. And I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and consignment stores in town. I'm one of the co-owners of the Green Room University. So second link down below, you should go check it out. But today I'm going to talk about 5 reasons why I dislike eBay, And before I get to the actual crux or gist of the video, I do want to say that, I enjoy selling on eBay, okay? So that's kind of a weird statement to say after seeing the title of this video. I like selling on eBay, okay? I think it's pretty essential. I think it's fun, right? But there are definitely some disadvantages, and I think there are things to dislike, right? I think as with any platform, there are things that maybe you don't agree with or you don't like about the platform. So today I'm going to discuss with you my 5 reasons that I just, really don't like eBay for these 5 reasons. But I still sell on eBay. But if there's any way that I can kind of lessen my eBay and get it down to like just the nitty gritty that sells, like that's my ultimate goal, is to get as profitable as I can, the least amount of inventory with the most profit for the amount of time I want to put into the project. So anyways, that's pretty much what is going on. If you're watching right now, it's a live show, and so yeah, you can put a comment and echo in some of these. Maybe if you feel the same way as I do, you can put that comment down below or in the feed right now if it's a live show. Okay, so I'm going to kind of jump right into it. Number 1, and let me say hi to a couple people real quick. Jen is in the feed. We have Jason White. We have Erica Clark. We have all kinds of people in the feed, so welcome to the show. But let me talk about number 1, and this is probably the most obvious one, at least to me, and it's really obvious to somebody that dabbles into a lot of avenues to resell in, plus owns a business or two, and plus has a wife, dogs, personal life. You start to I start to paint the picture that I am a busy person, right? And so eBay, the number 1 thing I dislike about it is that it's active money. It's not passive income, it's active income, meaning there's a lot of finding. You have to locate the good, right? You have to prepare to, prepare a route of thrift stores that you want to go see. You got to prepare to see a round of garage sales on a Saturday or Sunday morning, which I enjoy, okay? I enjoy that stuff, but it's still active, right? Like, yeah, I'd much rather probably just be sleeping in bed, right? Or riding my mountain bike or traveling around the world, but none of those 3 things you can do and do eBay at the same time, right? I guess you could sleep and you can sell stuff while you sleep, and I do that all the time too. But for the most part, you got to find the good. You got to research the goods. You got to make a listing for the goods. If you have templates, that's a little faster, but you have to make a listing. And you have to store the good, right? Then you got to ship the goods. Then you got to deal with customer feedback. So you're doing a lot of stuff that's very active. Like anyone is saying like, oh, this is passive and it's great and I got all these workers, it's still very active. Like unless you're completely removed from the operation and maybe you're just the only person sourcing for the items, which is a very few amount of the people that probably land on YouTube looking for reselling content. Most of the people that are dealing with eBay are probably dealing with it on a part-time level or a full-time level, and more than likely it's just them, right? There are very few that probably have a worker on the side that's working with them. And when I mean a worker, I'm not talking about a family member, because a family member usually jumps in, helps a little bit, that's cool. But like a worker, like that you actually pay. So it's very active income, and that can kind of be a bummer sometimes because, it's work, but it's just active. Like a passive income is pretty awesome too, trust me. So you can contrast that with like FBA, for example, right? In FBA, Amazon's fulfillment by Amazon's, sorry, it's just called fulfillment by Amazon. I'm getting distracted because someone just gave me some money right here. So thank you, Red Neckerson's Resales. I appreciate the super chat. I really do. But yeah, FBA is completely different. It's a completely different beast. If you're not signed up for Amazon FBA, I mean, it's not like it's too late right now, but it's a little bit riskier of a proposition. However, you can scale things much better, right? And that's good, especially if you live in a town that has opportunities and big box stores. And I've always thought about this, but for next year in 2018, I really, like I said, want to get my eBay store as thin as possible, like the least amount of items for the amount of hours I want to put into the project with the most amount of profit, because I want to give some of this extra time to FBA and to, finding things that I can scale up. And when I mean scale, it means, if you find a deal on Amazon FBA, let's say you're at a I don't know, Academy Sporting Goods or Cabela's, for example, and something goes on clearance. And not everyone in the nation is a Cabela's. Not everyone in the nation is a Academy, right? And each and every store at a store level is pressed with sales numbers, and they got to put sales on, and they got to eliminate goods and put things to clearance. And so you walk up on an end cap, and there's something that's selling for $5, right? You scan it with your phone, and it's selling for 30 on Amazon. It's in the top 10 percentile of whatever, and there's 15 of those things on the shelf, right? That's scale. Like, you can pick up and clear all 15 into your cart. And now with manufacturer barcodes as opposed to Amazon barcodes, you can just literally commingle the inventory and do nearly no work, right? But yeah, you relinquish 30% of your profit to Amazon, but still you can scale up and you can get crazy amounts of ROI by scaling up. So, that's just how eBay just really can't compete with Amazon on that level. There's just no way. Like, it's a completely different beast, but I'm just trying to give you guys an example of what active income versus semi-active, and then there's like passive and that kind of stuff. So I think FBA is a little bit more semi-active, almost like it's not passive, but it's like it's starting to get towards that, because if you work really hard at something, you can take a month off or 2 months off and then go back at it again. And if you think I'm joking, I know people firsthand that do that. Like, they go really, really, really hard in the fourth quarter, and then they take like January and February off. I mean, it's just kind of how people do it. So that's pretty interesting. You try taking 1 or 2 months off of your eBay business with no workers and see what happens, right? So anyways, if you have any remarks, please put it down. Like, this is not a show to slam eBay or anything like that. This is just simply opinion. And like, I've been with eBay since I think 2002, but I really didn't start picking up my eBay business or even started messing with it that much until maybe 2008, maybe, was it? I don't know, something like that. That's when I really started messing with it. So, okay, so yeah, and then we can contrast it with things like merch by Amazon. Merch by Amazon is like, all you need for merch by Amazon is a laptop, right? You don't need any place to store anything. You don't need, you might need Illustrator, right? But for the most part, you just need a laptop and some programs, and you can get merch by Amazon started up. So just to give you an example of like what passive income or active passive, or slightly active income, slightly passive income, that's one of those things that you have to consider when you're dealing with eBay. One of the obvious disadvantages to it is it's very active income, period. There's nothing you can say about it, right? It's active. So, so yeah, right here I have a note saying it's the complete opposite of laptop lifestyle. Like, there's just no laptop lifestyle, glamour and glitz with eBay. There's just, I mean, you can run it off a laptop, that's great, but you usually are physically there doing work with eBay. So that's one thing right there. So number 2, I have the income seems to vary with seasons, right? And I guess this can all depend on like how your store is structured out. And of course, a majority of the people that are probably watching the resale videos on YouTube are dealing with used goods on eBay. And so that said, 85 or 87% of all the goods that are sold on eBay are new. So it's a much smaller amount of people that are finding their way on YouTube, trying to figure out what the bolos are and like what to buy and resell. Sorry, my dogs are barking. But it seems like the income varies on seasons. Like summertime, there's an obvious kind of a slowdown, it seems. That's a great time to, someone ringing my doorbell, don't know why. But that's a really, really good time to source a lot of things from garage sales and really have it in the pipeline for when August and September comes and fall. But for the most part, it seems like the sales slow down in summertime. You could argue for sure that the sales have seemed to slow down at this time of the year in fourth quarter. I mean, my sales are okay, they're decent, but fourth quarter, just Amazon is one of those things. Like, people go to Amazon. Fourth quarter Amazon, like all the hype is on Amazon right now. That's what I've been messing with for the past week and a half, almost 2 weeks, is only Amazon. So I need to make another video on that, but you can pretty much assume what's going on. Like, yeah, I'm messing with toys and games, and I'm sending in shipments every single day. And that's just where the money is and where the opportunity lies right now, if you are cleared to sell in toys and games. Which, if you're watching this show, maybe you're not, and that's okay. I'm just saying, for next year, you might want to work on getting ungated or cleared for toys and games for fourth quarter, because it's really, really fun. And those people that say retail arbitrage is dead are completely incomplete. I mean, completely incorrect. because it is super alive. It's out there, and it's not hard to find deals and find them in bulk, you know? But yeah, fourth quarter on Amazon, it just seems like all the focus is on Amazon. I mean, everyone's trying to compete with Amazon. All the focus is on Amazon. So I just don't think a lot of people are really putting their eyes towards eBay. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But I've seen it even in the green room, in my private room. I see people saying, "Man, my eBay sales are super slow. Like I got good items, everything's just slowed down considerably in the past, 3 weeks or so." What do you guys think? So let me know. A lot of people are commenting on who's at the door. I did hear a truck speed off, so it's probably Amazon Prime. See, Amazon. So number 3, if you don't have a store listing, okay, here's what it is. This doesn't directly affect me now, but I remember that it affected me before. So this one right here is if you don't have a store with eBay, right? So even a basic store, they have a basic store, a middle store, then there's a $60 store, then there's like an anchor store or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I have the one that's like the second from the last. I think it's the $60 a month thing. And there are a lot of benefits to that. I remember not having a store and doing relist fees and like relisting every 5 days or 7 days. That stuff gets pricey after a while, you know? If you're not turning your inventory like 20 or 30% over every single time, like, which is tough to do, but if you're not like even getting close to 20, 30%, you're probably paying a lot in relisting fees. So you got to get a store. Like that's really, really important. But I can imagine if you're a beginner getting into eBay and you put all these items up and you're trying to figure out what's hitting, and that's kind of how you have to do it. Luckily right now we have YouTube to show us and all these great creators out there that are showing you like what to buy and sell. Like quite honestly, 10 years ago, that wasn't there, right? You kind of had to do it by yourself and trial and error and like do a lot of mistakes. But with those mistakes came inventory, like all this inventory that didn't sell. And when it came time to relist things every 5 days or 7 days, it was cool for about halfway through the month. Then you realize you don't have any more free listings available, right? And then it got kind of pricey. It really did. Like that stuff starts adding up a lot. Plus, if you don't have a store, you can't capitalize on shipping savings as well, which kind of sucks about eBay. So, if you are going to do this and take it seriously, just know that you probably have to get a store. You got to get a store and you got to work your seller rating up as high as possible, right? That way you can get some shipping discounts and all that kind of stuff. Plus, you get free money from eBay to buy supplies like tape or boxes. I think that's once a quarter. So, anyways, Search for a Deal has a good remark. FBA sells so fast. As soon as stuff's checked into Amazon, my warehouse, my items have sold out before even showing up on my Amazon dashboard. Trust me. 2 days ago, I just remember like managing a couple of my listings, and I moved the price down like 10 cents or 20 cents, and literally just blew out of everything. Bam, gone. Not everything in my store, but those 2 things that I was working on. That's how fast it sold out of my store. It was gone. Like it was so fast. Now, that being said, when I deal with toys and games, I'm dealing with toys that are sub 100K, and I'm dealing with games that are literally sub. I haven't hustled a game that's over 2,000 rank. So well, that's not true. Maybe like 3,000 rank. But you can imagine that 3,000 rank in games is just really, really fast right now. So if you can find them at scale at certain stores in town, I mean, that's what's so exciting about Amazon. But so yeah, if you don't, you got to get you got to get your shipping costs down, and you can do that through better seller ratings, and you got to get a store so you can save on those relisting fees. I think that's really important. So number 4. This is kind of annoying because it seems to happen like once every 6 months or so, right? But they changed the layout of Seller Hub. And if you don't know what Seller Hub is, let's say you're on Amazon, there's Amazon Seller Central, which has stayed almost the same looking thing for a very long time. Okay, so they put a couple like widgets in here and there, but for the most part, the layout has stayed the same over however many years it's been. Seller Hub doesn't look the same as it did 6 months ago. And if you look at it 6 months ago, it didn't look the same as it did a year ago. Like they keep changing things around, and that kind of sucks. Like that's definitely something I dislike about eBay. Now, change is good. I'm totally about it. Analysis is good. Like analytics are good. Being able to analyze your store, because I mean that's what you pay for, is like for analytics and like deals and the ability to run sales and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to hunting for features that are really important to you, or things that should be on the actual main, Seller Hub dashboard, whatever. why do those things start flying around? Like maybe it's just me, but like there's certain things like try finding average selling price, okay? And it's so incredibly complicated. It's like a three-step process to go find it. I just think things are just way too hyperlinked and spider webbed into Seller Hub that it gets really annoying if you want to find something nitty gritty about your store. It's just not really right there on the first page, and it might be 3 or 4 mouse clicks away, which is like crazy annoying. So let me know what you feel about that. It's just weird. Here, what my other notes right here. There's a lot of important information that really isn't even on the main screen too, which is kind of crazy. The most recent changes that they did with promotions and sales and how to run them, like that's annoying too. Um, it's weird. It's just so many more mouse clicks to get things done. It's like they try to make it seem easier with a step 1, then step 2, then step 3, but it was way more complicated than normal. And then I don't know if it's just me, and I don't think it is because I ran this in the green room about a week and a half ago. But like when you put something on sale, there's no guarantees that all your stuff's going to end up on sale. Like I don't get it. Like if you blanket your entire store, to go on sale, you would think when you relist everything that it's just going to automatically like drag it in, like no problems. But sometimes it doesn't happen. Maybe that's just me, but I find that more often than not. Then I have to like double check that eBay knows that I want a sale on. So maybe that's just me. I don't think it is though. That gets crazy annoying. I like the way it was before, right? I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh my gosh, DVDs came out, so all I want is my VHS and my VH. This is the best thing possible. Like I'm not resisting change whatsoever, but there's certain things that work, and like why undo something that works fine? Like that's just my point. Like for simplicity reasons, for workflow reasons, don't mess with something that is already working perfectly fine, right? And if you think it's increased for functionality, if you're eBay and you're watching this, it's not. Like just keep it simple. And if you want an extended promotion type thing, then build something that's completely different, but keep that same thing there, right? Anyways, Thriller Gorilla Picker says, I feel you, Chris. Just just when you get it down, they change it. Yeah. So maybe I'm pretty sure it's not just me. So number 5, this is kind of this seems to be a little bit more prominent right now. I try to tune this out when I see it in other groups and even in my group, but there are definitely scammers on eBay. Now we can contrast it with Amazon. Like Amazon, I don't know if there's so many scammers per se. There're just a lot of people. I think 30% of all purchases on Amazon will end up as a return. Or 100. Okay, so you have 100 different purchases, 30% are going to come back as a return. I think that's the official stat right now. Is there's 30% returns on Amazon. Now, if you're thinking, well, that's crazy. Like I can't do that. Like that's insane. But that's just part of business because when you go to a store, you have to be able to return something, right? So that's important. And 30%, when you're dealing with something as big as Prime and as big as Amazon, that is, I guess, to be expected, right? People order the wrong thing or this and that, the wrong color variant or whatever. But a lot of times, it doesn't mean you get 30% of it back. Like if it's new and it's in sellable condition, they'll just put it back into its bin, and then the robot can pick it up for the next person that picks it up, buys it off the site. So they don't necessarily put it in stranded or, fix your unfulfillable inventory portion like that. Just because it gets returned, like there's still someone that looks at it and goes, okay, like this is still saleable. It's like, the plastic is still perfect there, So, and that's if it's new. So that is, I like that part, right? It's like Amazon's managing this business behind the scenes for me, or a piece of it. But when I deal with eBay, it's different. Like I think eBay, it's almost like there's like this discount and cheaper customer there, at least dealing with the used things. Okay, not the new things on eBay, but the used items. There's the, not so much scammers, but someone that's like discount oriented, a little bit more cheaper oriented. And that can be a hassle sometimes, right? It can be a hassle if you haven't honed in on, making your pictures perfect, explaining a bunch of stuff in your description fields, and not paying attention to drop-down menus and things. Like, yeah, you can get an argumentative person, someone that's a little bit more discount-oriented. It can be kind of a hassle sometimes. I even feel like sometimes that I can nearly predict a return when it's coming on eBay just based upon initial, even before the item gets to someone. I ship it to someone, and before the item gets to it, like the person has already sent me something saying like, hey, I'm just making sure that the item is on its way. I hope you packed it well. Like things like that. I'm like, dude, seriously? Like, but that's just part of eBay. I think eBay has that discount customer and they really like to go there. And I am convinced that eBay is a good place if you want to rent something. I'm not kidding. I'm not talking like I want to go scam somebody or like, but it's easy to rent something if you want to on eBay. Let's say you want to go with some formal, you can get some like used Allen Edmonds loafers, wear them and put them back in the box. You know, if you're not morally there, it wouldn't even matter. Like you can literally just wear them, put them in the box, be like, that didn't fit. Doesn't matter if the person put no returns. It just doesn't matter. Like, it isn't, they can put item is not described, and they can come back and you like super fast with that and be like, all right, you know, open a return case and send it back to the customer. We'll side with the buyer. It's like really, really annoying, right? I'm convinced that I had a person a year ago with some roller skates that literally just rented them for a weekend and then broke them, right? And then I had to, you know, basically refund and pay the whole thing back. Which is really annoying because I got you know, I was about to get a pair of broken skates back, and I was like, don't worry sending them back to me because I don't want to dig a hole that's deeper than it already is. But eBay sided with that person, and I got really, really frustrated with that. I was like, you know what? This is a really good way to like rent stuff, like honestly. So, and there's no real eBay sides with buyers that are like way low on feedback when versus a seller that's been, you know, near perfect or 100% and doing everything right. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. There's no sense to it sometimes, and that I don't like. So, anyways, yeah. So hopefully, I don't know if I'm triggering anybody. But see, a lot of people like commenting right now on this live show. So clearly, there's something that people are sharing with my thoughts. But yeah, eBay siding with buyers even when the seller is clearly like way more responsible. It's like super obvious. I sold something the other day, like a pair of expensive shoes, and they sold for like 180 bucks. And then the person is from like Paraguay or something, and zero feedback. And I'm like, holy crap, zero feedback. Like buying it from Paraguay like this is gonna be terrible. And then the person doesn't even pay. Like I'm like, holy crap, you know. So I've opened up my unpaid item case and all that. Good. But yeah, there's just a lot of check boxes that have to be filled with eBay too. Like if you deal with GSP, there might be a glitch in there, and that's for another show, like eBay glitches, because they are out there. But there's just some weird things that I am convinced, like I always have GSP clicked, and then how did this one item that happens to be really expensive not have GSP on it, and it's going to Paraguay? Like what? But it's not going, so that's good. But you know, there's some times where I'm certain that I have like uploaded something a certain way or did a listing a certain way or put you know, calculated shipping in some weird way, and it didn't transfer over. So I don't like that. Anyways, so, and then there's one last thing that I want to discuss with you guys, and that is the eBay app is not encompassing, which means, you know, I can't send an invoice from an eBay app. I mean, usually most people pay like on the spot, right? But like, let's say 1 out of 20 are gonna have that little like, you know, take 2 or 3 days, whatever. And that sucks. Like, I'd like to hit them every single day with an invoice from my phone, right? And you can't do that. You can't even open an unpaid item case, I don't believe, from the phone as well, unless you go to classic site, which like really sucks. Nobody does that. So it's not encompassing. And like, I don't want it to be like, oh, okay, I need to know like my average selling price and all this, and I need to know my metrics. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the stuff that sellers need on an everyday basis. Like, put that in the app. Like, it's one more button. Like, seriously. There's all kinds of other things like tracking number and all this stuff. Like, you know, look at your look at the person, contact the buyer. Where the hell is like send the invoice? Like, put that on there. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't get it. Yeah, so I don't see it on there. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. And there's definitely not an unpaid item like reminder thing either on there. So it's just annoying. Like, you know, you have to get on the laptop and do that. So anyways, that's pretty much it. I think for the most part, I want people to understand that there's going to be times where you're upset with every single avenue. Like, FBA's got its thing. Merch definitely has its thing. As of like a couple days ago, there's something that dropped on merch that was like really annoying. But basically, like, you can't upload anything, or at least I can't. You can't upload anything until like they've made some decisions on some things, which will occur on the 12th. You know, it just gets kind of annoying. Like, none of us are in control of any of these things that we are selling on. It's just that some are a little bit more frustrating than others, and I think eBay is a little bit more frustrating than Amazon for sure. And it's a little bit more active, which probably compounds the frustration. Because if it was passive money, it might not matter as much, but it's not, right? You work hard at it and it sucks. So anyways, those are the 5 things that I dislike about that. I don't want anyone to misconstrue and go, "Oh my gosh, he's leaving eBay. He's not going to do eBay anymore. We're not going to see more Bolo videos on." No, like I still enjoy garage selling. I enjoy thrifting. I enjoy time with my brother. I enjoy, living a thrifty lifestyle. I enjoy a lot of things, and I think eBay is absolutely crucial into moving the product to the end buyer, right? But it's just these are frustrations of mine. That's all they are. So, anyways, I will answer a couple questions. Maybe there's you know, maybe there are a couple people who want to say a couple things, and that's about it. And I'll be out of here. Um, yeah, so it seems like all kinds of people are just telling me their stories. There's so many in here, but let's see what we got here. Okay, Steve and Steph, Resell Killers. Can we talk about how many hours we've spent on the phone with eBay customer service, which is outsourced, by the way? LOL. Yeah, eBay customer service. Like, I'll give eBay some props on a couple things. One is they'll give me a call, what seems to be every single month, trying to let me know about something new that's coming on. Can I just hit you up on your email and send you all these details? I think that's pretty cool. That's a pretty responsible way to like keep your sellers really happy, which is interesting. I don't think any time that eBay calls you, you actually have the time to discuss the new drops on the seller dashboard, or the new things that have dropped, and like how you can do 3-day guarantee, or like all this fast and free in the holiday season. Like nobody has a time on the phone to mess with that for the most part. So it's nice that they actually go forward and try to call you, but I don't think anybody really sits there and takes it. At least most of the people I've ever dealt with, they've just been like, yeah, they just send me emails, and then we screenshot the emails, we share them in the green room, and that's cool. So I think that's really responsible. That's pretty good. I don't ever get anything from Amazon. Well, Amazon's really good at communicating, but they do it the right way. Like it's on email. Problem with Amazon is they do it too much. Like there's just too much communication. If there's a way that they could just like do a monthly summary change kind of thing, like that would be sweet. Like all the things that have dropped in the past month, send it to me. That'd be awesome. But man, you get communication so much more than eBay when it comes to Amazon. But it is a bigger, crazier platform, I guess. What else did I want to talk about? That comment had something in it. Oh yeah, can we talk about how many hours we've spent on the phone with eBay customer service? Yeah, just in retrospect, looking at that roller skate case that I had about a year ago, dude, holy crap, I remember the first day I spent an hour, and I go, oh my god, like I know what I'm worth. Like if this drags on any more, and I cut it off after like the hour and a half mark, I was like, you know what, this is gonna go sour. I'm not gonna sink any more time into this. Like I know I'm not gonna win it. There was all kinds of appeals, and like it's just really dumb. I was convinced these people basically rented my shoe. I know they did, because this thing was basically new. Like it was a new roller skate. There's just no way the structural integrity would have failed like that. So, anyways, but it did, right? And they sent me a picture of like a skate that was just completely like just blown to pieces. I'm like, holy moly! Like, how does someone do that in a couple days? It's impossible. But yet, they just didn't see it that way. So that was really annoying. But about an hour and a half of that, and I was like, no way. Like, I'm done with this. Like, that's cost me too much money. I basically probably got in my SUV and went straight to the thrift stores and started making some more money to make myself feel better. But yeah, there's a lot of people that, and that's something you got to be cognizant of when you're becoming a business owner. Any amount of time that you deal with the negative aspect of the business is really poisonous. You got to be very careful about that. So, yeah, it's the worst possible thing that can happen is for you to. Okay, so like the worst possible thing that can happen on a case is for you to sink 4 hours into it and you get it reversed and you get $30 back. Like you're like, oh my God, that's awesome. So every single time that scenario comes up in the future, you're gonna think that exact same way because you've been conditioned and go, oh, it's gonna work out. I'm gonna get, and that one might sink down 5 hours of your time, 2 hours of your time, and you're not gonna get back $100 or something like that, or maybe $500. So, the worst thing that can happen is that it plays in your favor for something that's completely insignificant to where it makes you think each and every time in the future it's going to be like that. So anyways, just know that if it doesn't seem like it's going to work, you've appealed it a couple times or you've raised it to a manager or something like that, and it's just nothing's happening, sunk cost, done, right? Search for Deal says that, well, that's part of retail business. Stand and watch in Costco return area. You'd be surprised how many people are returning with crazy reasons. It's just crazy. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I find myself in the Costco return aisle every now and then. But I return things that are just like straight up, like it's food that it's not tasting good or something's not right. It's a flannel shirt too big or small, because when if I don't know what size I am at Costco, like I'll buy both sizes, right? And I'll return one of them. That's just what I do. But yeah, eBay has, I wouldn't say a fair amount. If you're sourcing awesome items and you are doing really good descriptions and awesome pictures, like you will minimize returns considerably just by doing that. So if you're dealing with easy to find items and the markets are not, I don't know, if you're just dealing with easy to find items that are just run of the mill, you're gonna have a lot more returns than anybody else. And if you are not, if your description is not that good and if your pictures suck, I mean, you're just compounding the issue. You're just gonna end up, taking a ton back. And that can be completely, how do I say it, disheartening, right? Because you should be in it to make the money. That's what we're all reselling for in the first place. Okay, what else we got here? Any more questions? Liquidation OH says, I'll take the full refund 99% of the time before I give a partial. Yeah, that's another way that you can kind of find if someone's scamming you pretty quick on eBay. It's just if they go, oh yeah, something's wrong with this item, it's a bummer. Can you do anything? You're like, yeah, send it back to me. And they're like, oh, well, it's not that bad. Like, how about a partial? Like, no, I have a buyer here. Like, send it back to me. Like, I have someone that wants to buy it full price. It's not a big deal, and I would like to get you back to square one. You say stuff like that, person goes, you know what? I'm going to keep it. So I've had that many, many, many times. That's actually more common than the case where it's just like, I'm going to return, just straight return. For me, it's more common to have that person come forward, which is really, really annoying. Anyways, Justin Packman says, do you get many lost packages? I'm dealing with one now and I'm super stressed about it. No, I don't get many lost packages. I think the most important thing is to make sure that you engage with a service that has a tracking number of some sort, which if you do everything off eBay, then you should get a tracking number automatically built into it. Whether you do FedEx or UPS, sorry, not UPS, but FedEx or USPS. The one thing you might not get, depending on which service you pick, is insurance or not. I think there's a certain level of insurance, but if you want to get extra insurance and you're shipping out something pretty expensive, that varies between the shipping services. But yeah, as soon as you get a tracking number, you should be thinking one thing. Like if you have a tracking number and there's been no communication from the buyer prior to you shipping it off, because sometimes you'll ship something off and the buyer will be like, hey, just want to make sure that you sent it to this address and it's completely different than their eBay address. Boom. You're pretty much off the hook in that respect because you shipped out of the item when it was, when the shipping address showed something else. Like that's what you shipped it based upon that shipping address. So I've had that a couple times. I see it every now and then with like apartment complexes, like, hey, I forgot to put my apartment number down, blah, blah, blah. I'll just tell the person like, look, man, like make sure you just get with your apartment head complex and watch for that package to come in because there's nothing I can do at this point. I sent it off based upon your eBay information. So that you'll see every now and then. And that's not so much a scammer. It's just someone that just forgets to tell you something after the fact. But the tracking number is so important. The tracking number has won me so many cases just based upon seeing where the item is going. And the second it shows delivered to, that's it. Like you're literally off the hook with eBay. Like you're off the hook. If someone steals it off the porch, blah, blah, it doesn't matter. Like you're pretty much off the hook. You've done your job at that point. The only time you're not off the hook is when they open the item, they've clearly got it, and then they find a reason to return it, or they return you something different, or there's all kinds of things that can happen after that. But if you've shipped it to them, they're like, I haven't received it. Like, yeah, basically it's done. Like it's there. So Funway Freeway says, I've been sent back empty boxes. Wow, that's terrible. Motivation ebook Smith, hey Chris, would you please do a beginners getting started on Amazon seller video? That's interesting. We have a beginners FBA course in the green room that a lot of people just kind of resort to. It'd be hard for me to do a beginners getting started on Amazon because I've started so like what 4 years ago now, 5 years ago. I might be able to. I'm not 100% sure I can, but there are a ton of people already that have these things built into YouTube. So one you can check out is Project Life Mastery has one, and then Cody Hawk has one too. Like, so you can go check out those two people, and they literally have already built and spoken about it on YouTube. Like that's essentially what I would have done. Like just made that video. So the video already exists. It's just done by someone else. But go check out Project Life Mastery, Amazon FBA beginners, and like there's a very big video with like 800,000 views or something like that. It's a big video, and then Cody's videos are always about 50,000 or more on his FBA videos. So go check those out as well. Cody Hawk and Project Life Mastery. Rake and Profit says 100% keeping it real. Yeah, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Any more? What's going on? Night, good to see you as well. Got all kinds of people in this feed. 114 viewers, man. Maybe it's cold here in Austin. That's why I'm doing this video inside and all that kind of stuff. It must be nothing to do today, because usually I don't get 113, 114 at this time. I get about 80. Or maybe it's just a touchy subject and you guys want to talk about it. But like I said, I still like eBay, right? I'm still going to do it, but I'm really, really, really going to work hard at leaning out my here's what it is, right? 2018, I want to have maximum 200 items in my store, okay? So maximum. Some of the people that might be listening to this might be going, holy crap, I have 400. I'm so much better, you know? I have 500. I'm so much better. Numbers don't matter. Like, numbers don't matter unless they're quality goods, first of all, okay? Quality, marketable goods. You might think you have a quality good. Does it have a good market, okay? That's the most important thing. With no market, it doesn't matter what the good really is, because the market decides the prices of everything, right? And if there's no market, guess what? No one's deciding on any prices because nobody's there. There's no market. So you have to have quality goods that have amazing markets. That's the key to eBay. Like, that's it. You want to win eBay? Find quality items with amazing markets. That's it. Doesn't matter if it's new or used. You can win eBay with those two things right there. So yeah, that's my goal, is to have 200 quality, super awesome markets finds. I think I'm at 141 right now, with probably 10 or 15 items that I'm not proud about in my store that I might just chunk in the trash, and then start, right? Because it's more of a quest for me, right? Maybe I can get 10 or 20 super solid items in my store a week. And if everything goes right, if it's doing what it's supposed to do, I should have a 20 to 30% sell-through rate every single month. That would be amazing, right? So if you take 200 listings, you get a 30% sell-through rate. And let's say I'm trying to make, 30 bucks a pop, like pure profit or more on each item. So let's say average of, let's say 40 or 50. Then if you sell, if you have 200 items, say I sell 60 of them, 60 times 50, that's $3,000 in pure profit. That's pretty good for a part-time project that hopefully I would never go over 12 or 15 hours a week. That's what I'm looking for. So that's what I'm going to be doing next year. That's my ultimate quest, is to get so streamlined and so strategic with eBay to where I can get about $3,000 out of it with like 15 hours of work with 200 listings. That's just what I'm thinking. So, who knows, right? Even if I get close to 20 hours, it's still not bad, right? It's still not bad at all. But it's to do it smart, to do it in bulk, do listings, each and every day, so you can kind of pepper the feed and, show eBay that, hey, like, I'm in here all the time, shipping on time, maybe shipping nearly every single day while I'm in town. There are a lot of ways that I'm going to try to make eBay really work for me, So Night Required Field says, hey, Bonafide Hustler, I am throwing away donating so much crap in January. So am I, dude. I'm right there with you. Okay, so I guess that's pretty much it. There are a lot of things coming through here, people talking. Gentex 512 says, chunk, don't be wasteful. Look, I would donate it and I go to Savers, get a 30% off card, and then use that to buy better thrifted items. That's really important. I still, my death pile right now is probably 10 or 15 items deep. It's not much, but I haven't touched any uploading in eBay in a while because I've been working on FBA. And, there's a lot of opportunity with this toys and game stuff in the fourth quarter that I've literally put it on the back burner for now. It's just when there's more opportunity somewhere else and you can capitalize it for a short period of time, I'm all about it. So, yeah, I'll probably resume maybe today or tomorrow, putting a couple on and seeing what happens. Thriller Gorilla Picker says, hey, thank you for the show. Get a ride in the cold weather. It'll feel good. I am. As soon as I'm done with this, like, I'm putting on some sweatpants. It's like 40 something degrees outside, 42 something. Like, I'm going to put the down jacket on, my sweatpants. I'm going to go for a bike ride because that's fun. David Graham says, what's up, Bonafide? How you doing? Doing good. 15 items in a death pile. That's impressive. That's true. It's impressive. But, if you were to talk to me 4 years ago, I probably had 30, 50, right? But now I'm getting so fine-tuned with what I really love to flip, what I really enjoy and have the energy to flip. Like, that's what I'm looking for, like those kind of like high energy kind of items. Because if you're vested into the item and you can't wait to list it and can't wait to eke out the money from it, can't wait to ship it out, like, that's fun. Like, that's a business, right? A business isn't like, oh man, like, no sales today, what's going on? Then you get on all these groups and you're like, eBay sucks so bad. Like, what's going on? Like, no sales today, no sales today. You know, if that's happened a considerable portion of your year, and you're like, eBay sucks today, and like no sales, that's not good. That doesn't mean eBay sucks. It's more likely something is wrong with your store or your sourcing methodology sucks. Something is not right. eBay is an amazing tool if you use it correctly. Um, but I think a lot of people, you know, maybe watch some of these YouTube videos and they go, it's easy. I can do this like no problem. I'll buy exactly what I saw in that video and I'll be fine. And that's worked for some people. But for a lot of people, if you're just seeing what I've bought and sold and you go out there and you see it and you pick it up and you buy it, not even knowing why or how to test it, you know, the model, the variant, you know, why it's waterproof, for example, like a boot, like if you don't know keywords, you're doing yourself a huge injustice. A, it might not move. B, you might undercut yourself by selling it for like basically nothing. So there's a lot of, you know, reasons why I think people see the light with eBay and it's like amazing and everything, but you really have to scale back and go, you know, what do I really care about selling, and what would make it fun? Because 2018 for me is going to be a really, really fun year. I'm working on a lot of things in the background, and eBay is just going to be one of those things. I'm like, how can I keep eBay around and make it fun? And that's what I'm doing in 2018. I'm going to do no more than 200 items. I'm going to keep it super fun, high energy, and yeah, that's as much as I got time for. Like, right? And if you're selling, you know, 30% sell through or something like that, that's going to be amazing. Like, I can't wait till I hit that. And if you guys want YouTube videos for the journey, I'll do them. But they're going to be no different than anybody else's videos that just show you that I'm listing and I'm shipping things off and whatever. But maybe I'll do them for you guys. I just want it to be fun, you know, like eBay feels like a loophole right now, right? But I want it to feel fun and like a loophole. So anyways, Gentex512 says it's snowing. No, it's not snowing. Okay, so I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's essentially the little outline I had going on right here. If you have anything else that you guys want to talk about, put it down below, or maybe you have an idea for a future video that you want to see on my channel. Maybe something else to dislike about, like that's cool. I can rant about it a little bit. But this concludes 5 reasons why I dislike eBay. And put your reasons down below. Maybe I hit a nail on the head. Maybe I, you know, irked some emotion out of you guys. But for the most part, this is the end of the video. And I thank you for coming to my channel. That's pretty much it. Take it easy. Goodbye.